5-2. Go ahead and say your name again.
Ramzy Ladah for plaintiffs.
Good morning, Your Honor. Francis Readiness, for defendant, Mr. Collins, bar number 6557.
Okay. Thank you guys for you can have a seat, Mr. Ladah. Thank you guys for the status report. It did say in the status report that neither a settlement conference or mediation has been conducted, and that the parties discussed this possibility on January 9th, but were unable to come to an agreement. So why don't you guys give me some idea about what you're talking about with that? Like, if one side thinks this will help, if anybody thinks that a settlement conference might be useful. Let's start with you, Mr. Ladah, just because you're here in person.
This is an open policy case, so a settlement conference would be a waste of our time, quite frankly, Your Honor.
Not if they're willing to pay above policy.
That may be true, but they've given me no indication of that.
Okay. Mr. Arenas, what's your position?
Your Honor, the policy is a minimum policy. We have given that up already, or offered that to plaintiffs' counsel. I have spoken with our adjuster. There might be some leeway in regards to that, but depending upon how much, Mr. Ramzy would like, it's really up up to them to accept. How do I say this?
Okay, well, here,
I think we can have a discussion, but really depending upon, whether they feel that this is a multi-million-dollar case or not.
okay.
Your Honor.
Is anybody else trying to say something?
No.
So let's talk about trial then.
Sure.
Right now you're on my stack starting March 17th. You're one of the older cases on that stack. Your status report did say you all were ready for trial, but believe that there were numerous documents collected, and therefore there might be the need for a bunch of witnesses regarding the police documents. Are you both in agreement there that we're going to need people to come in and testify to every single document, or is there going to be some stipulations, or do you all not know yet?
We have a meeting conferred today at 2 o'clock. I'm hoping defense will stipulate to the pre-admissibility of a number of documents, including the citations of Zaon Collins for the negligent entrustment claim, a number of the police documents, the toxicology results, et cetera, because that would save a lot of time. So I was going to address that with them today at 2 o'clock. So I don't know their answer right now.
Okay, I'll let you respond in just a second. I also have motions limine due January 22nd, 2025. So before you sit down, Mr. Ladah, do you think that's still a realistic date for those?
Yes, considering we're having a meeting conferred today, and I will have all my motions eliminated ready before the 22nd.
Okay. Okay, Mr. Arenas, any response, or do you want to give any more information?
No, Your Honor, the fact is that we are going to contest a lot of the admissibility in regards to what Mr. Ladah wants us to admit, and that's really, we're going to have this discussion at a much greater length later today. And also in regards to the motions in limine, we are going to be ready for that.
Okay, good. Okay.
There is one other issue I wanted to bring up briefly, Your Honor, if I may.
Okay.
There is one of the things we obtained regarding the negligent entrustment claim was prior citations of Zaon Collins. We disclosed those. We also requested those from defense in an RFP before the closed discovery. We had a meeting confer with them. They said they were trying to get those. I just wanted to make sure the ones we have are consistent with the ones they get through an authorization or subpoena, however they get them. And I was hoping they would have a COR with those as well, so that there wouldn't be no authenticity issue that they could claim. They told me at the 30-day deadline that they were still trying to get it. And then they still have not gotten them to me. It's now over, I think, 90 days since the RFP was due. I'm actually not positive if it's 90 days, but it's well overdue. So I want to bring that up to the court regarding the admissibility issue, since it's relevant to the potentially number of witnesses and some other things, if that makes sense.
Okay, discovery closed back in November on this, right?
Correct.
Okay, but your request for production was served more than 30 days before that.
Correct. It was timely.
Okay. And Mr. Arenas, what's the status on that response then?
Your Honor, we've been having difficulties with our clients getting his signature for authorizations. And as such, in regards to the citations themselves, that's something that we could further discuss. Mr. Ladah, in regards to the 2 o'clock meeting today.
Okay,
But furthermore, Your Honor, the fact is that we're not going to contest the delay in regards to giving him the citations. So, I mean, even though it's past the discovery, of course, it was done. The request was done 30 days prior to the deadline.
And for the record, one of my offers to defense, Your Honor, was I don't need them to give me those citations as long as they agree that the citations I disclosed are authentic and admissible. So that was my offer to them to avoid the potential issue. That makes sense.
okay, so we'll be dealing with this in a pretrial motion if you guys don't have agreement. When did you say your meeting was tomorrow?
Today at 2 o'clock.
Today,
Okay, so if you don't have some kind of agreement, we'll be dealing with it. And here's my proposal on that. If this ends up being a motion, submit a request for OST and let's get it heard the same day as the pretrial conference on February 20th. So that we at least get this one issue out of the way, especially if there's gonna need to be any kind of follow-up taken to obtain additional information before this trial. I also would like you guys, when you meet today, to talk about your availability for trial on the stack too, because I think it might be a good idea based on the age of your case, if when you come back here on February 20th for your pretrial conference, that we set firm dates for your trial on that March 17th stack as well.
Perfect.
So please talk to one another, share your calendars. If you're not ready to do that today, find another date to do it before February 20th, so that when you come on February 20th, I'd like to hear from you. Well, depending on how many motions limiting you file between now and then too, I might set this on a special setting and have it all heard together where I hear your motions limiting. If there's a continuing discovery issue, I hear that, as well as we do your pretrial conference all together. If you have more than a couple motions limiting and you want to do that, usually we do our special settings on Mondays or Fridays. Mondays, we have 10 o'clock slots and 2 p.m. slots. And we'll put you on your own setting if there's more than the handful of motions limiting, which I don't know how many you all are going to have, but I guess you're hopefully going to have a better idea after tomorrow. So if that ends up happening, I will probably move the 20th to a Friday or Monday special setting that is just you all. So if I do that and the date doesn't work for one of you, talk to one another and arrange to have it moved to a date that will work, or call my JEA and we'll get it all set up together. I'm looking quickly at the 20th, just a minute. Okay. We actually could put you on a special setting on the 21st or the 18th, either day at 2 o'clock in the afternoon if you end up with more than a couple of motions limiting that need to be heard. Because I don't know if we put them on the 20th at your 11 a.m. setting, if that's going to be the best place to put them. But I'll issue them in an order if we do that, or an actual formal order explaining that I'm resetting this and that they'll all be heard together, and that I still want you all to come with your clients and witnesses availability so that we can put firm dates on for trial. Okay, any questions?
Did you want all of the motions limiting to be filed on OST, Your Honor?
I don't think you need to, unless you believe that hearing one of them is gonna help. I know if I put them on the 18th or the 21st, I'm essentially putting them on OST. But if you all don't think that's enough time for you to respond, I'm happy to move them around and we can still go forward with your pretrial conference on the 20th, even if we don't have a ruling on your motions limited yet, if you haven't had enough time to oppose and reply, like essentially fully brief each motion. So that's really up to you guys. I think that the pretrial conferences, especially when we're gonna set trial dates, are more efficient once we have rulings on motions limiting, because sometimes that eases this up a little bit. I don't know how that's gonna affect this case, because I don't know what your motions are yet.
Got it.
I mean, I've had some cases where the trial's cut in half because of the rulings on the motions limiting. I've had other cases where it really doesn't make that much of a difference.
Understood.
So, I guess it's gonna depend on you guys. If I look at your motions limiting and they don't seem to, that they can get fully briefed by the 18th or the 21st, I'm gonna just leave your pretrial conference on the 20th, and we'll do what we can on the 20th, and then we'll hear your motions limiting probably on a special setting the next week or the week after. Okay? Any questions?
Not for plaintiff, Your Honor.
Mr. Arenas?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, so when I see you on the 20th or the next time I see you, you'll have trial dates for me. Please do not at that time ask to continue everything, because you then agreed to a settlement conference. If you're going to do that, talk about that today. If you're going to agree to a settlement conference or mediation, talk about it today and get that on calendar as soon as possible so that we don't further delay this, because like I said, this is one of my older cases on calendar. Okay, any questions, gentlemen?
No, Your Honor.
No, Your Honor.
Okay, thanks for coming today. See you February 20th if you don't get set on a special setting.
Thank you for your
Okay.
time.
Thanks.
Thank you, Your Honor.